Hey, would you look at that? Pinball Magic is back in the project space. Basically for the third time. Finally got my parts back from Australia. I ordered them, I believe, at the beginning of COVID. And it literally took about 5 months to get those parts. So this was on hold for the longest time. And so I set it back up. And all of a sudden, it started resetting on me. So what I did was determine that someone did some pretty shoddy work on, there's 3 bridge rectifiers under here. This really should get my light. Oh, hey, look, right behind me. You're not going to be able to see much, but you can see the 3 screws for the bridges, but 2 of them had been replaced. And they did a really hack of a job. So I sent the board out just to have the professionals do a proper job and kind of maybe go over the rest of the board too. And I reflowed all the caps and the headers and just other, foolproofing things. So I just got this board back today, popped it in, and the resetting seems to be gone, so that's the good news. So that meant I could start putting everything back together again. And the main thing that I was putting together was the stage here. So my stage doors were completely smashed and hacked together, so I had those doors made. So those are reproductions. They're a little bit thicker than the originals, so I'm hoping they work okay. I wasn't really able to use the original hardware to reattach them, but the original hardware was long gone anyway. Someone had really hacked it together. You're not going to be able to see, well, yeah, actually, you can see the back of the doors there. So I just put on just kind of standard nuts and bolts, and then I siliconed the ends because you can't really crank those tight or else they won't slide properly. I really have no idea how well that's going to work. But the other issue I just determined once trying to get this up and running is, well, there's an opto on either side of this stage mech that senses the ball when it goes in there, and then you got this solenoid here to kick the ball out. When I first got the game, it was flaky, like just triggering on and off, on and off, on and off in switch test. So I removed the whole stage. Like, you have to remove all this. It's a big to-do, and I've had this stage out and in probably 5 times now, just testing and fixing doors and optos more than once. So originally I just reflowed those optos and they were good. But I had just reinstalled all this to find out that those optos were not working anymore. Oh, I have my camera sideways. That's probably annoying. Yeah, so my optos died. Oopsie. So I pulled the whole thing out again. There's the connectors for the optos. So you disconnect those, remove everything, all that. Then you disconnect the stage from this assembly here and bring you over to my quote-unquote workbench. Okay, so these are the opto boards that were on either side. And I read you can just use standard Bally-Williams receivers and transmitters or emitters. So I removed the old ones and installed brand new ones. Seems reasonable. Put everything back together again. To a certain extent, I didn't put it all the way together. and still not working. So now I'm starting to wonder if I have a grader opto issue or a switch matrix issue. Found out the other optos in the machine are working okay. So then I have to start scratching my head again. But what I had was these guys from my old Airborne. And although they're a little bit different in size, and as a matter of fact, you can see the diode is on the other side. They're wired a little bit different. The emitters are anyway. So I thought that even though there's a little bit of difference here, there's 3 lugs on these guys and only 2 on these guys, I kind of just figured out how the electronics worked, what was positive and negative and what was going where. And I wired everything up to the new boards like so, and what do you know, it actually worked. So I either wired in one of these guys the wrong way, but I don't think I did, or one of them happened to be faulty, which would be very weird. I still don't understand yet, but replacing them with these ones I had in stock, which was lucky, got it working. So fun with LED. I think I've been calling them optos. Well, they are, but they're LEDs, really. Transmitters, receivers, emitters, whatever. Cathode, ethode, who knows? Lots of crap to remember. Anyway, here is where we's at. Machine, not resetting. Optos for the stage, finally working. Oh, and I had to, the other thing was replace this motor. You won't be able to really see it all that well, but there's 2 of these in the game. One for the elevator, or is it called elevator? It's just a stage, but it is elevating the ball, the fake ball, and then here for the wand. So I'm not really sure if this is going to work properly yet. I'm hoping that my optos now are good, and I'm hoping that my stage doors are going to work properly. So I thought I'd film this and see what happens. Because if that all is good... Okay, wait, I gotta go over here because let's see what other parts I have to... Let's see, I've got this box. This is my extra stuff. There's one of the... That's a new motor, just in case. This is the old bad motor. Somebody drilled into there. See all these extra screws and screwed it back together again. But what else do I have to do? Let's assume that all works there. We don't know yet. Oh, extra stage parts. I do have a new set of used flipper parts, so I'm going to be rebuilding the flippers. So I got to do that still. What else do I got? Oh, there's some of the old hardware hack for the stage. Oh, and here's the old stage doors. Yeah, you can see they're in rough shape at the bottom. Missing half the legs. They're supposed to be L-shaped at the bottom. Okay, that's already done. I replaced that diverter. Oh, I bought a couple extra of these. I had to make my own. That's for the trunk mech, because I didn't want to wait 5 months, so I made my own. That worked well. The original one I made is still in there. Okay, so there's that. So I got to redo the flippers at least. Here's some notes. What's that say? Oh, genie weldment. Yeah, that's cracked. Tweak the flippers? More like rebuild them. And then, what else do I got? This is just the stuff to put everything back together again once it is fixed. Oh, and there's the old drop target weldment. You can see that was mashed. I replaced that. Oh, I replaced this guy too. Magic wand. There was a ball on the end there, but that was long gone. What else? Oh, I must have installed new ROMs. Those are the old ones. Random switch. Okay, so I gotta fix the genie element, rebuild the flippers, and do general play testing and dialing in. But that's just assuming that this works. So let's give it a shot. See how this playfield comes up? Capcom really did some cool stuff. They really designed everything pretty much from the ground up because they couldn't steal Bally Williams designs. So that's why, like, these weird flipper mechs have got this weird, just, it's very different. Like these arms. I've been through pretty much every mech on this, and there's a lot of similarities, but there's lots of differences. And Capcom is built like a tank. I don't think I can show this one-handed, but I'm gonna try how this track. This is kind of probably a bad idea, but look how this track works. And then these arms will, and the whole playfield like pulls out too, but I'm not gonna try that with one hand. And as you can see, playfield just glides back into place. It's a unique design. Okay, moment of truth. We want no resetting, and we want the machine, all the parts and pieces to find home okay, and not give any error reports. Let's close the door, get the high voltage enabled, and see what happens here. Moment of truth. Okay. So the wand has to find home, the magic ball has to find home. I don't know if it's supposed to be going up and down 5 times. I really hope not. I mean, I really hope that's normal. Okay, it's found a spot. I hope that's the proper spot. I don't really know, because I've never had this game fully working. But start a game, see what happens. Stage malfunction. That is very sad. And now it's trying to find home again. Why is that malfunctioning? Oh, that's the new motor. I don't know. Let's shoot a ball in here and see what happens. Probably not good stuff. Well, why didn't you kick the ball out? I know you work in switch test. Alright, well, it appears as though I have a lot more work to do. Hey, why did that solenoid not fire the ball out during ball search? I got 10 errors, but those are all lamps. Let's go to diagnostics. Standard tests, yeah. Opto test? Switch test. Let's go to switch test. Where's my magnet? Let's grab this ball out of here. Okay, you hear that? That's registering. What does NRM dead mean? Oh, the memory? Is that the RAM? And why would that pop up during switch test? Well, and why is this switch working but solenoid not working? Well, that might be my clue to why my stage is malfunctioning, maybe, or is it more the motor not finding home properly? Ball out. L, could it just not drain? What does ball out mean? Okay. Anyway, it's not a success story, but I guess it's a progress story. Well, we'll keep on plucking away.